Well, hey guys, welcome back. And it has been a very, very crazy week politically for our nation, for the entire Western world, I would say. A lot of insanity, both involving the events this weekend with Trump and the attempt on his life, as well as the RNC going on. Now, I'm not going to mince words. There's been a lot of cringe moments coming out of the RNC. A lot of really strange decisions made by the people who have attended it, by the guests that they've had there speaking. Again, I've said before many times that I am not a fan of campaign rallies or events like this where it's a lot of, canned speeches. It's just not my thing. I don't need this kind of performative, gesture to try to make up my opinion about who I'm going to vote for. This doesn't do it for me. But that being said, it has made a large impact given the fact that Trump finally spoke since the events on Saturday. And I believe he gave a very nice speech. In my personal opinion, I think he did a very nice job. He tends to go a little off the cuff. This was definitely more, he had a teleprompter. He was reading off of the teleprompter. Sometimes it's a better decision, especially given the nature of what he's talking about. Contrasting that, we have a lot of news about Joe Biden, his political opponent. We've seen recently he announced that he had come down with COVID, and so he was canceling any of his events going on this week. And then there was a video that came out of him looking lost, meandering down the stairs from Air Force One, looking very unsure of himself. And again, let's be honest, his age is a definite factor in his decision about whether or not he's going to continue running. And there's a lot of rumor, a lot of scuttlebutt that he will make that decision by this weekend, and most likely he will be stepping down. And we've seen more videos come out recently from this one here where it seems that he was confused about which blonde in a blue dress was his wife and which one wasn't. And again, these are definite signs of somebody who may or may not have dementia or Alzheimer's or some sort of cognitive impairment due to his, rapidly accelerating age. Another video here that's come out is him struggling just to climb into his car. And again, these are not to mock or make fun of him. Old age, dementia, these things happen to many people. And these are not things to take lightly or just to try to poke fun at him with. These are realities of somebody in his position in life that probably shouldn't be doing the job that he's been doing, at least allegedly doing. Who knows who's actually, calling the shots behind the scenes. But I want to contrast this with what's going on with the show The Boys, because there's a lot of real-world politics that has been involved in this show. And unfortunately, there have been a lot of people who have recently come out saying, look, if you're a conservative and you watch this show and you just realize that you're the ass into the jokes, that just means you're stupid and you haven't been paying attention. When the reality is most conservatives, most right-wingers, politically, ideologically, realize that most of Hollywood hates them. But up until the last 10 years or so, the message hasn't been so heavy, so ham-fisted, so just forced and shoved in your face. Until the shows like The Boys. And the funny thing about The Boys is a lot of people, even IGN, are complaining about how terrible this season finale was. And in their review, they say it's basically the beginning of the end, and that it was the most disappointing finale of the first 4 seasons. Now remember, this show has been confirmed to be wrapping up after its next season. It will not go past 5. 5 is the magic number for this one, and then they're done. But the season finale has some very eerie, very strange correlations to what's going on in real life. So here you have them saying that the finale's eerily prescient political commentary hits some distressingly dystopian notes. The Deep, played by Chase Crawford, finds himself a blind follower of Homelander's fear-mongering regime after pathetically murdering his octopus lover Ambrosius, epitomizing downtrodden Americans desperate enough for affirmation and guidance that they'd sign up for full-on fascism. Now, let's remind everybody of something. Donald Trump, the Republican candidate for the presidency, who was democratically elected the first time around and lost an election to Joe Biden, 81 million votes, everybody. They are basically saying that this show, and tacitly endorsing the idea that what this show represents in the form of Trump is full-on fascism. Okay, just keep that in mind. Homelander's rhetoric about Starlighter enemies mirrors Trump's talking points about woke villains and his demonizing of the left. The man who has been called the reincarnation of the mustachioed maniac from World War II is talking about woke villains and his demonizing of the left. He's demonizing anybody else. That's the funniest thing in this entire article. And it's hard not to wince as the boys enact Homelander's Nazi-like plan for anyone who challenges his authority, including in-house vault liabilities. Homelander's playbook has reflected our continually unprecedented reality too comfortably as of late, and as the 2024 election looms, the season 4 finale pleads with its audience to understand the dangers of empowering bitter man-baby bullies like Homelander. And again, remember, Homelander, as Eric Kripke, the showrunner, has stated many times, is a stand-in for Trump. And they've alluded to the fact that when the comic was first written, it was actually Ronald Reagan who was the stand-in for the Homelander character. So, allegedly, this show, this comic, this character has always been a parallel of whichever conservative president or right-wing president was in power at the time. Now we get to the actual issue with the season finale, as brought to you by PJ Media, written by John Del Rose. This article says, The Boys season finale features political violence warning as it encourages more Trump hate. Now, none of this was mentioned that I saw in this IGN review, but again, IGN is garbage, much like Kotaku and The Verge and any of these other websites. So the article goes on to say, Amazon Prime's videos, The Boys, has turned into an anti-Trump political screed since it made the character Homelander a stand-in for Donald Trump in Season 3. Now Prime Video has placed a content warning on its season finale, originally titled Assassination Run. Yes, I kid you not. As it comes out only a week after an attempt on the former president's life. The Season 4 finale came out today and contained this warning. Viewer discretion advised. This episode contains scenes of fictional political violence. Any similarities to recent events are completely coincidental and unintentional. Prime Video, Amazon MGM Studios, Sony Pictures Television, and the producers of The Boys oppose, in the strongest terms, real-world violence of any kind. Now, it's really it makes your mind wonder why they actually have to say this. What could they possibly have in this episode that would cause them to need to say this? In addition to the statement, they removed the Assassination Run title of the episode from their listing, which currently displays only as Season 4 finale. Despite their statement and title removal, the episode is an allegory for what leftists believe happened on January 6th, based on rumors from the fake news media and angry rhetoric from the Biden administration. In the episode, Homelander and the Seven deputize an army of superheroes to round up dissenters around the country while purging traitors from a fictional company called Vote International. The clear intent of this episode is to propagandize viewers into believing that Donald Trump will be a fascist dictator who needs to be stopped at all costs, the exact sort of violent rhetoric that may have caused an unhinged shooter to attempt to take the president's life last Saturday. The final episode has an assassination attempt on the president with a shapeshifter disguised as Starlight attacking him. Much like the actual attempt on President Trump's life, this fails, but the writers then have the incoming VP-elect lose his life, resulting in the president's arrest because he ordered it. It's clear to see this is a deranged version of Trump in the heads of the writers. They view him as a complete monster who has to be removed. By showing Homelander, the Trump standing character, creating an army of rounding up dissenters, as well as showing a president arrested for ordering the assassination of a rival, it's clear this show intended to push this hateful vision of Trump on the show's viewers. Now again, none of this is mentioned in the IGN article. I think that's very important. They complain about how it leaves off disappointingly. It doesn't set up the next season very well. All it does is say, oh, go watch our next season because it's the last one. And yet, these people have been able to create this fan fiction, this world view that they have in their minds, in their little, pea-sized brains, of how Trump is literally the reincarnation of Hitler, and that he has to be stopped at all costs. And they've decided to, somehow coincidentally create this scenario in the show, which is almost mirroring real life, but from their distorted, twisted lens that they view it from. And nobody thought this would be a bad idea to run this out here. At this point, why wouldn't you just say, maybe we're going to delay the release of the finale for a couple weeks? Let things cool down a little bit. Maybe realize that this is a bad look. I don't know. Maybe that's what they should have done. You guys let me know what you think about all this. I think that this is a terrible look for Amazon, for The Boys. I think after all the political violence we've seen, allowing this episode to go out there after all the rhetoric, people like Joy Reid, anybody in the mainstream media who continues to go after Trump as if he is Satan incarnate, not realizing or not caring that they themselves are creating the rhetoric that has led to this situation, not the other way around. It's a pretty mind-baffling, stupid decision, but I'm going to throw it to you guys to let me know what you think about all this. Make sure you check out my website. Got lots of fun stuff on there, articles, videos, links, merch, all that good stuff, and I will catch you later. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have two channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.